Winnipeg, we are back, and it's time for Stanley Cup playoff hockey in round 1 versus the LA Kings. As you can see right away on the first game of the playoffs, Hellebuck involved in an off-ice incident. So let's see how damaging that's going to be for our team here. And open hostility on the morning of game number 1 of our playoff run. But we cannot let that get us down. We do have some people who are very upset about that. But hopefully our team is good enough to avoid any mistakes. But we are going to have a look at the LA Kings, who are the first round opponent for us. This is their team. We do have some good players there. Darcy Kemper's their starting goalie. Let's check out the lines. And Kemper is on a bit of a hot streak. It says he is hot. And they have Kempe, Deno, Fiala. They still have Drew Doughty there on that first defensive pairing. See how they did during the season. 20th in penalty killing, 16th in power play, 19th in goals, 8th in goals against. So we should be able to handle this team pretty decently. They might give us a run, but we're gonna see. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the playoffs. I think we'll just sim each day at a time until we get to the elimination games, and then we'll go ahead and jump in. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and sim the first game of our 2024-25 playoff run. Game number 1, and we win 9-3. Wow, what an opening. 5 goals in the first period. We came to play. We were 0 for 2 on the power play, but 0 for 1 for the Kings power play. Nice job. That is an opening statement. So we're going to go ahead and sim to the next game. So here we are back on Friday, April 25th for game 2. Morrissey in that game had 5 points, a goal, and 4 assists. That's what we like to see from our top players. So we're going to go ahead and sim game number 2. And we lose that one 4-1. You could expect probably a good bounce back game, so I'm not surprised we lost that. Let's check out our special teams. We were both 0 for 1 on the power play, so not too bad, I guess. That's pretty expected there. And we'll go ahead and sim to the next game. And we're back. Nothing new on the email, so we're just going to go ahead and delete all those. And we are back in Los Angeles for game number 3. Let's go ahead and sim this and see what happens. And we win 4-3 in overtime. Close game. We were 0 for 1 on the power play. They were 0 for 2. But we now have a 2-1 lead. And we're going to go ahead and sim to the next game. And here we are on Tuesday, April 29th for game number 4 in Los Angeles. Let's go ahead and sim this game and see what happens. And we lose that one in overtime, 4-3 to the LA Kings. This is a very close series. We were 0 for 1 on the power play. They were 0 for 2. And Josh Morrissey ailing with a hand laceration. That is not what we needed. Let's go ahead and take a look. He is day-to-day, so that's good. Pyoung's day-to-day. Shifley's day-to-day. So we're going to go ahead and sim to the May 1st. Morrissey is injured, yes. We're going to go ahead and sim to May 1st. So here we are back on Thursday, May 1st. We're going to have a look at the top-selling jerseys. Hellebuck, obviously. Our development. See what happened towards the end of the season. Eric Brandstrom was the only one of our players to grow. The top-selling jerseys, Alexis Lafreniere. Okay, that's pretty good. And they signed him to an extension. Which, that's a pretty good extension for him. Still pretty young. First overall pick, not exactly what they were hoping for, I would imagine, but a solid young player for them. We're going to go ahead and set the monthly budget, but I'm going to drop it down to about 6 just in case we don't actually make it out of this first round. We're going to go through the scouting, the Carlson hockey games. We'll just go straight across again. The Memorial Cup and the IIHF World Championship. And that is good for that. We are very unhappy here. Let's see what happened with the Harmony. Very bad here. Connor Hellebuck, what were you doing? Brandstrom, I don't really care because he's just a backup, but Zach Aston Reese, I think he might be gone anyways next year, so that should be okay. Anyone else? Should I interfere? I'm not going to because it's only 2 and 3 and we only have 1 to 2 months left. So we're just going to go ahead and sim to the next game. And here we are, Friday, May 2nd. We just went ahead one day, but this is not what you want to see. A new click forms and another new click forms. We are going to select a Hall of Fame nominee. Just have a quick look here, and it's Patrick Eliash. All right. And here we are. We're back home for game number 5. So we're going to go ahead and sim this game and see if we can pull one out at home. And we do win 4-0 at home. Let's see what we did. We were 0 for 3 on the power play, and they were 1 for 2. It's not really costing us, but it might be time to try to make a change here. And let's have a quick look at the playoff bracket. Even though the first round is not done yet, we are up 3 games to 2. So which means the next game we're going to go ahead and jump in and try to watch if it's close. Maybe watch the last 2 to 3 minutes of the third period. Mark Scheifele already to return. We are in Los Angeles. So we're going to go ahead and play this game, and I'll bring it back when anything important happens. So we have our first goal of Game 6. It is scored by Quentin Byfield from Andrzej Kopitar and Samuel Fujimo. And we're back, and Cole Perfetti answers back to tie the score at 1, and his goal assisted by Mark Scheifele and John Klingberg. So the first period is over, and the score is 1-1, and we are out shooting the LA Kings by 6, 13-7. So I like to see that. Hopefully we can score more goals. Let's start the second. And we're back. We scored our second goal with 6:35 left to go in the second. It was Nikolai Ehlers from Adam Henrique and Kyle Connor. Alright, we're back at the end of the second period, and the score is 2-1 Winnipeg Jets. The shots are 23-19 in favor of the Jets, and we're going to go ahead and begin the third period. 16:41 left to go in the third, and our third goal scored by Mark Scheifele from Cole Perfetti and Gabe Vilardi. We're back here at 14:27 left to go in the third, and our fourth goal of the game scored by Adam Henrique from Nikolai Ehlers and Kyle Connor. 11:42 in the third, an unassisted goal scored by Neil Pionk, his first of the playoffs, and the score is now 5-1 Winnipeg Jets. 7:21 left to go, and the second goal for the LA Kings scored by Brant Clark from Quentin Byfield, and the score is 5-2 Winnipeg. We're here back in Staples with 2:25 left to go in the third period. The Winnipeg Jets are up 5-2 over the LA Kings in a Game 6. Hopefully we can hold on for that win. Fiala is taking the puck up the ice very slowly. Crosses the blue line but turns it over, and there's a shot on goal, but it's received. Nikolai Ehlers chasing the puck down, but he misses. There's another shot on goal. 1:33 left to go, and we have a face-off. Ooh. And there's a shot on goal. Vilardi takes it, looking to skate it up. Cole Perfetti going to cross the blue line, just dumps it in. The dump and chase always works when you're ahead. Vilardi giving chase to and passes it up to Kempe, who's trying to cross the blue line, but he's waiting for his line mates to come in. And it's taken away by Henrique with 45 seconds to go. Morrissey passes to Vilardi, who crosses the blue line. Passes to Henrique, back to Perfetti, who loses it. Henrique giving chase there from Kempe. And 2-1. And that is the end of the game, and your Winnipeg Jets secure the first round victory of the 24-25 Stanley Cup playoffs in Staples Center. And this is the stats for that game. The first goal was scored by Byfield, followed by Cole Perfetti, and then we just took off. We did actually get one power play goal from Nikolai Ehlers, and then Scheifele, Henrique, and Pionk, followed by Brant Clark. We were 1 for 3 on the power play. They were 0 for 1. So here we are back on the roster screen. We're just going to go ahead and sim one more day. And we do have a few emails here on Monday, May 5th. Mark Scheifele is returning and Neil Pionk ready to go. Let's have a look at the playoff tree, see if it is the end of the first round. Looks like we have a couple more 3-3 between Nashville and Chicago, 3-3 between Seattle and Edmonton. 4-2 Toronto, 4-0 the Rangers over Washington, 3-3 Detroit and Boston, and 3-3 Tampa Bay and Florida. Vegas beats Dallas 4-1, and Winnipeg beats the Kings 4-2. Let's go ahead and sim another day. So that is the end of round number 1. It looks like we have the Nashville Predators coming up in a couple days, but we're going to go ahead and look at the playoff tree one more time just to summarize the whole round 1. Vegas beats Dallas 4-1. Seattle comes back and beats Edmonton 4-3. Winnipeg beats the Kings 4-2. Nashville beats Chicago 4-3. And the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Carolina Hurricanes to advance to the second round finally, 4-2. The Rangers sweep the Washington Capitals. The Bruins beat Detroit in Game 7. And the Florida Panthers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. So we're just going to go up and sim to May 10th, the first game of round number 2 against the Nashville Predators. So here we are back Saturday, May 10th for game 1 of round number 2 versus Nashville. We do have some emails, but nothing too important, so we're just going to delete all those. And it looks like most of the team is still unhappy from that off-ice incident from Connor Hellebuck and these 2 clicks, and our hostility is very, very bad right now. I'm surprised we actually made it out of round number 1, but let's have a look at our next opponent, the Nashville Predators, and see how they did. Here's the Nashville roster. They still have UC Saros. They still have Roman Josi and Philip Forsberg, O'Reilly, Stamkos, and Luke Evangelista. A good mix of young and old veteran leadership. Any injuries to look at? John Marchizot, 1 to 2 months, so we won't have to face him, thank goodness. Let's see how they did on the season. 8th in goals, 9th in goals against, 2nd in power play. Our penalty kill is really going to have to step up there. Philip Forsberg with 103 points, Stamkos 97, and their penalty killing was 5th. Let's see what that line is. Forsberg, Stamkos, and Evangelista with O'Reilly and Nyquist and Roman Josi. UC Saros is kind of cooling off. He's only got 1 little flame there, so it's going to be a fun, challenging game. Or round, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and sim game number 1, and I will bring it back when we're done. We do lose game number 1 at home, 2-1. Let's go ahead and see. We were both 0 for 1 on the power play. We only scored 1 goal on 36 shots. They scored 2 on 21. That's not a good way to open up the second round against a very good Nashville team. So we're just going to go ahead and sim to the next game. We do have a very important email here, excuse me. The media criticizes Morrissey after the loss. Definitely not. We are going to defend him. He was one of our best players and a leader on this team. It's not his fault we only scored 1 goal. He is a defenseman after all. And now we will sim to May 12th. And here we are on May 12th for game number 2 versus Nashville. And we take that one 5-1. We really answered back. We had 4 goals in the first period. Scheifele, Niederreiter, Morrissey on the power play. He answered back from that criticism from the media. And Lowry with his first goal of the postseason. And we were 1 for 3 on the power play, and Nashville was 1 for 2. So these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched. We're going to go ahead and sim to game number 3. And here we are, game number 3. We're going to go ahead and sim this. And we take game number 3 with a big 4-0 shutout. 2 goals in the second, 2 goals in the third. Ehlers, Scheifele, Henrique, and Jack Studnicka. That is a huge game 3 win and a big statement win on the opposing ice. Nashville is Bridgestone Arena, I believe. We were 0 for 2 on the power play, but Nashville was 0 for 1. So we're going to go ahead and sim to the next game. And here we are Friday, May 16th for game number 4 in Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to go ahead and sim this game. Hopefully we go up 3-1 and get that nice cushion of a lead. And we do. We win 4-1. 2 goals in the first. We are outplaying Nashville by quite a bit now. Scheifele with a hat trick in this game. Velarde, 3 assists. Let's look at the special teams. We were 0 for 2. They were 0 for 1. And email, strong game for Mark Scheifele. Yep, had that hat trick. That was huge for us. Let's go ahead and look at the playoff bracket here. See who's playing well. Vegas up 3-1 over Seattle. Winnipeg up 3-1 over Nashville. Toronto sweeps the New York Rangers. And Florida is up 2-1 over Boston. the Toronto Maple Leafs are on a mission this year. 4-2 over Carolina, 4-0 over the Rangers. So we're going to go ahead and sim another day, and we'll bring it back for the next game. And it's Sunday, May 18th, back at home for, I believe, game number 5. And this is a series clinching game, so we're going to go ahead and watch, and I will bring it back for whatever important events we have. So here we are at 14:20 left to go in the first period, and the first goal of round number 2, or of game number 5, goes to Vinny Hinostroza from Connor Sheary and Brady Shea, and Nashville is up 1-0. So here we are at the end of the first period, and the score is 1-0. The Nashville Predators with only 8 shots on goal, and Winnipeg Jets 13 shots. We need to get going offensively. So let's go to the second period. We're back in the second period at 12:36 left to go, and the second goal for Nashville is scored by Mark Jankowski from Connor Sheary and Roman Josi, and the Jets are down 2-0. So here we are at the end of period number 2. The score is 2-0 Nashville, and we have 27 shots on goal, but no goals scored. I'm gonna go ahead and make some line changes. We're just loading up our best players here, and Henrique for Scheifele, Ehlers, Connor, Morrissey, putting John Klingberg onto that first pairing with Morrissey. We just need to pour the shots on goal. I don't believe we had a single power play yet, but we're also going to change the minutes. 24 minutes on ice for that first line. We need to really load up and get these shots on goal. So we're going to go ahead and return to game, and hopefully we can spark something here at the beginning of the third period. And we're back at almost halfway through the third period. The Winnipeg Jets get their first goal from John Klingberg, from Gabe Vilardi, and Adam Henrique. We're back about 30 seconds later. Gustav Nyquist answers right back from Ryan O'Reilly and Robert Bortuzzo, and Nashville is back to that 2-goal lead. We're back at 8 minutes 12 left to go in the third, and Ryan O'Reilly scores the 4th goal for the Nashville Predators from Curtis Lazar and Brady Shea. We're back here in the third at 4:34. Nashville scores their 5th goal. Morgan Barron from Ryan O'Reilly and Gustav Nyquist. Here with 1:14 left in the third, we're losing 5-1. We have 40 shots on goal, but only scored 1 goal. And right now we're on the penalty kill for 24 more seconds. And I'm just going to finish out the game here. Stamkos back to Roman Josi, who's bringing it in, but Klingberg steals it, passes up to Zach Aston Reese, and we killed off that penalty. Forsberg takes that pass and just dumps it in. Morrissey giving chase, up to Scheifele, back to Klingberg, down to Henrique, and that is the end of game number 5. Nashville came to play in Winnipeg, and the Jets lose 5-1. So that game was not very good for us. The special teams were 0-2 on the power play. Even with the line changes I made, we were only able to score 1 goal about halfway through the third, that John Klingberg right after those line changes. So let's take it back for game number 6. It's Tuesday, May 20th, and I am going to directly make those line changes now that I made during the game when we scored that goal. We're putting Scheifele on the first line with Connor and Ehlers, and John Klingberg up to the first pairing with Morrissey. We need to score some goals. Connor Hellebuck, even with that 5-goal against game, is still very hot with 4 little flames there. And we're going to increase the first and second line time. The fourth line is losing a minute, is going to lose 1 minute of ice time. The third line is going to lose 1 minute, and the first line is going to gain a minute, and the second line is going to gain the rest of the minutes. And that's, I forget how many minutes. We're going to go 24, 19, 10, and 7, and we're going to add 1 to the first defensive pairing. So it's 26, 18, and 6 on defense, and we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead, and we will jump in for game number 6 in Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, if anything important happens. So here we are at the end of the first period. The shots are 14-9 in favor of the Jets, and these teams are matched pretty evenly, almost perfectly, offense, defense, and goalies. So we're going to see if we're in for a wild second period. We need a goal. And we're back 13 seconds in, just after I say we need a goal. Scheifele answers from Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers, and the Jets are up 1-0 in game number 6. Back in the second period at 8:42 left, and the Nashville Predators answer back with a goal from Philip Forsberg, from Stamkos, and Luke Evangelista. And we're back at the end of the second period. The shots are 34-20 in favor of the Jets, but the score is still 1-1. We're back here in the third at 18:55, and the second goal of the game is scored by Nashville as they take the lead 2-1 by Steven Stamkos from Evangelista and Philip Forsberg. Here at 10:35, about halfway through the third period, and the third goal of the game is scored by the Nashville Predators. It's Ryan O'Reilly from Gustav Nyquist and Dante Fabro. 6:30 left in the third period, and the Nashville Predators score their fourth goal. It is Philip Forsberg from Evangelista and Brady Shea. Here with 1:24, 1:13, 12, 11, 10 back here, Scheifele picks up the puck. The Jets are down 4-1. It is very disappointing here in game number 6 in Bridgestone. Ehlers carries it up, passes to Connor to Scheifele, and it's shot on net but saved by Saros. Come on, Lowry, win that Barron back. And another shot on goal by Winnipeg, but it's saved by Saros, Lowry, and O'Reilly. And O'Reilly wins the faceoff, carries the puck up. 20 seconds left here, passes to Morgan Barron. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7. And there's a shot on goal saved by Hellebuck, and that is the end of the game. And your Winnipeg Jets lose game number 6, 4-1 against Nashville. We had 42 shots on goal and only 1 goal for. The Nashville Predators had 29 shots and 4 goals. We held Nashville to 0 for 3 on the power play, so our defense was there, but we just could not get it done. And I have a feeling it's because our morale is now complete garbage, and it's going to cost us this second round playoff run. And we're going to get set for game number 7, so we'll sim ahead one day. And we're going to go ahead and sim to game number 7 of round 2. We are at home, and we need to win this game, so let's jump in. And we're here at the end of period number 1. The score is 0-0 in game 7. Shots are 11-6 in favor of the Jets. We're back at 9:23, about halfway through the second period, and the first goal of the game is scored by Roman Josi from Gustav Nyquist and Thomas Novak, and Nashville is up 1-0 in game 7. And we're back at just under 7 minutes to go in the second period, and we answer back Adam Lowry from Zach Aston Reese and Colton Sissons. That second line, or the fourth line, answering back and tying it up. Very huge goal for us. And we're out shooting the Nashville Predators 19 shots to 8, but we still only have 1 goal. And we're back a few seconds later, and we take the lead on our very next shot from Adam Lowry, Aston Reese, and John Klingberg. So our fourth line is responsible for our only 2 goals in Game 7. That's huge. We're back with just 3 seconds left in the second period. Cole Perfetti scores our third goal on our 22nd shot from Adam Henrique and Gabe Vilardi. That is a back-breaking goal. The second period is over. The Winnipeg Jets are up 3-1 in game number 7. We're out shooting the Predators 22-13. Let's jump into the third. And we're back here with 4 minutes to go in the third period of game number 7 here in Winnipeg. And the Jets are up 3-1, about to clinch a Western Conference final berth here at home finally with 3:40 left to go. The puck is out to Morgan Barron, who's skating it up, passes to Forsberg, who crosses the blue line looking for his teammates there, skating it in, looking for a shot possibly, but it's taken off by John Klingberg. Big takeaway with 3 minutes left to go. Vilardi gets it, skating up to the blue line, waiting for his teammates, but it's taken away by Ryan O'Reilly, Selke Trophy winner, and it's dumped in. Morrissey giving chase, gets the puck, passes it back up to Vilardi, who's skating it forward. He's got Perfetti down, but it's taken away by Gustav Nyquist. Nashville's trying, they dump it in. Klingberg gets the puck, passes to Perfetti, up to Henrique with 2 minutes to go. Passes up to Nikolai Ehlers, skating down the right side. And there's a shot on goal, and it's rebounded back out to Josi with just under 2 minutes to go. We have Gustav Nyquist dumps it in. And the Jets get there first. Neil Pionk passes it up to Scheifele, looking out towards center ice, waiting for his teammates, and he just dumps it in with 1:20 left. And Robert Bortuzzo takes it with Scheifele hot on his heels, passes up to Hinostroza, back to Bortuzzo, up to Ryan O'Reilly with 1 minute left, up to Morgan Barron, back to Pouliot and Barron on a breakaway, and there's a shot, but saved by Hellebuck with 33 seconds. A defensive zone faceoff won by Lowry, back to Peak, who's skating it out. Kyle Connor going down the left wing, passes across the ice to Nikolai Ehlers, carries it across the blue line. 5-4, and that's your game. The Winnipeg Jets advance to the Western Conference Finals, beating the Nashville Predators 3-1 on home ice. We score 3 goals in the second period to take that lead. Lowry, and Perfetti, that fourth line came to play. In a very important game, number 7. We were 0 for 2 on the power play. They were 0 for 1. That was a very close series, but we made it out. I thought that morale was going to kill us. So let's go ahead and advance a day. See who we have in the Western Conference Finals. It looks like it's going to be the Vegas Golden Knights, who were first in the West. Let's have a look at that playoff tree and see how everyone else did. Vegas beats Seattle 4-3 in Game 7. Winnipeg beats Nashville in Game 7. Toronto swept the Rangers, that was right. And Florida beats Boston 4-2. So we have Toronto and Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Winnipeg and Vegas in the Western Conference Finals. Both number 1 seeds in the West, and Toronto 4th seed and Florida the 2nd seed. Should be a good conference finals matchups. So we're just going to go ahead and sim to the first game. So here we are on Monday, May 26th with Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals at Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Our morale is still in garbage, no injuries, and I've left our lines the same with Klingberg and Morrissey on the first pairing, and Scheifele still that first line center, but we are going to change the power play and move Scheifele up to that first line and move Henrique down. And we still have Klingberg, and where's John Klingberg? The 5-on-3 power play first line with Morrissey. So it's pretty much the entire first line goes across from 5-on-5 and the power play. So we're going to go ahead and sim game number 1, and we'll see what happens. And we lose 5-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Eichel, Barbashev, Pearson, and Raphael Lavoie. I forgot to take a look at the lines, so we'll do that right after we leave this. Vegas was 1 for 1 on the power play. We were 0 for 1. Before I forget, let's take a look at the Vegas Golden Knights roster. And Adin Hill, still doing it for Vegas. And they have Jack Eichel, the alternate. Mark Stone there still. Ivan Barbashev, Pietrangelo, Noah Hannafin, Ilya Samsonov, Shea Theodore. They have no injury, so it's a clean bill of health. They were first in goals in the NHL, 5th in goals against, 4th in power play, 3rd in penalty kill, 1st in shots per game. Jack Eichel with 111 points, 40 more than Shea Theodore in 2nd for their team. Let's check the lines. Eichel, Barbashev, Mark Stone, Thomas Hertl, Kolasar, Victor Olofsson, and Hannafin and Theodore on the first defensive pairing. So this is going to be a very, very tough series. But let's go ahead and sim to game number 2. And we're here in game number 2 in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. So we're going to go ahead and sim game number 2 and see what happens. And we bounce back with a big 4-1 win. We scored 2 in the first and 2 in the third. Kyle Connor, Perfetti, Ehlers, and Velarde. We did not have a power play. It seems like Vegas is a very disciplined team. I don't think we had a power play attempt in game number 1 either. But we held Vegas scoreless on their one and only power play. We do have some emails. Cole Perfetti out listed day-to-day, and Thomas Hertl out day-to-day. So let's check that injury. He can play through it, so we're just going to go ahead and sim to game number 3 at home in Winnipeg. Here we are for game number 3 in Winnipeg. So let's go ahead and sim and see what happens. And we win that one 4-1. Back-to-back 4-1 victories for the Winnipeg Jets. Pretty even. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Henrique, Radek so with his first goal of the playoffs, and John Klingberg. We were both 0 for 1 on our power plays. Hellebuck with a .955 save percentage. Nice. 1 goal on 22 shots. So we're going to go ahead and just sim to June 1st, which is game number 4. So we're back Sunday, June 1st for game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Best-selling jersey, Connor Hellebuck. Let's check out our development report. Eric Brandstrom, determination. Noah Gunler, shooting accuracy and checking. That's some good growth there. And Cole Perfetti, faceoffs +1. Why? I don't know what his training is, but we're winning, so I guess. And Hellebuck, Shifley, Morrissey, and Kyle Connor, 4 Winnipeg Jets players in the top 20 of the best-selling jerseys for May, up there with Matthews, Marner, and Riley, Bo Horvat in Toronto. Makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and delete all those. And our monthly finances, I'm going to leave it at 6. A 6% increase. Let's check out the tournaments. There are no tournaments for priorities. So we're just going to go ahead and sim game number 4 in Winnipeg. See what happens. And we win that 3-2. So we're up 3-1 over Vegas. Kyle Connor with a game 4 hat trick. Nice. We were both 0 for 2 on the power plays. Kyle Connor keeps the fans on their feet all night with a game 4 hat trick. And the Winnipeg Jets go up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. And before we go ahead, we do have the Hall of Fame vote. I'm going to take a look here and see who's on it. Rod Brindamore, Patrick Eliash. I don't want Thornton. I don't want Chara. I don't want Marlowe yet. Ryan Miller, not yet. Let's do, I don't really know these other names, but let's do Theo Fleury as our 4 Hall of Fame. That's only 3. I do need one more. Let's do Sergei Gonchar as our 4 Hall of Fame nominees. So we'll delete that and we'll sim up to game 5. And this is a series clinching game, so we're going to go ahead and play this game and I'll bring it back for whatever happens. And we're back with just over 15 minutes to go in the first, and I believe this was a power play goal scored by Tanner Pearson from Jack Eichel and Shea Theodore, and the Vegas Golden Knights are up 1-0. Just under a minute gone by with 14:11 to go in the first. Victor Olofsson gets the second goal for Vegas from Nicholas Hague. Vegas now has 2 goals on 4 shots. With just under 1 minute left in the first, Neil Pionk puts the Jets on the board from Zach Aston-Reese and Adam Lowry, and the score is 2-1 Vegas. And we're here at the end of the first period. The score is 2-1 Vegas. The Golden Knights are out shooting us 12-8, and the score is 2-1. We're back with 14:37 left in the second, and the Winnipeg Jets tie up the game 2-2 on the goal by Nikolai Ehlers from Niederreiter and Radek Faksa. The Vegas Golden Knights answer right back. Braden McNabb unassisted with a second goal of the playoffs, and Vegas leads 3-2. And with 7:21 left to go in the second, Jack Studnicka answers back from Jake McCabe and Andrew Peak, and the score is 3-3. We're back at the end of the second period. The score is 3-3. Vegas has 22 shots on goal and the Jets have 20, so this game is very evenly matched. Let's jump to the third. And back in the third at 15:27, Adam Henrique puts the Winnipeg Jets on top from Cole Perfetti and Josh Morrissey. The score is 4-3 Winnipeg. Back with 5 minutes left in the third period. We're back with 5 minutes left to go in the third period. The Winnipeg Jets are up 4-3 with the chance to go off to the Stanley Cup Finals. And there was a shot, but Hellebuck passes it out to Nikolai Ehlers. 5 minutes left to go as he just dumps it in. I think we're going to employ the dump and chase here and try to keep this lead. Vegas is out shooting us 31-28, but Kolasar has the puck. He just dumps it in. Klingberg giving chased by a bunch of Vegas players, and he passes it to Velarde, who's going across center ice, looking for Cole Perfetti as he crosses the blue line, skating it deep in, and there's a shot. Aiden Hill recovers with 4 minutes left, passes it up to Pearson, and Alexander Holtz carrying it up the right wing, playing past the puck, and there's a shot on goal. And Kyle Connor skating it back up the left side, crosses the blue line, waiting for his team to make the line change with three minutes left. And there's a turnover. Holtz passes to Zach Whitecloud, who passes up to Dorofeyev, who's crossing the blue line. As Vegas goes for line change, Holtz to Quinney and Dorofeyev as they're skating it in, and that was a shot on goal but blocked. Hellebuck passes it out. Dorofeyev gets it, but he's fighting with it with Jack Studnicka, who wins the battle, and he's skating it up, crossing the blue line. Just under 2 minutes left to go. And we have a face-off, Shifley to Hurdle. Shifley wins it, passes the Ehlers up to Connor. Shifley back, and there's a shot on goal. And Hill passes it out to Howden. Ehlers intercepts, and there's another shot on goal. And it's brought out to Keegan Kolasar, who's going across the blue line, just dumps it in. John Klingberg giving chase with a minute left to go. Passes it to Peak, And 50 seconds left to go. Peak holds it, waiting to see who gets open. Nikolai Ehlers there, crosses the blue line. There's a shot on goal, saved, passed out to McNabb with 30 seconds left to go in Game 7. Passes to Pearson. Kolasar carrying the puck up the right side with a 1-goal lead. There's a shot on net. Hellebuck saves it, passes out, and that is Game 7. Your Winnipeg Jets are off to the Stanley Cup Finals as they beat the Vegas Golden Knights in T-Mobile Arena in Game number 7 of the Western Conference Finals. We beat Vegas 4-3, and it is not Game 7, it is Game 5 or 6, I believe. But we did not have a power play chance. Vegas, a very, very disciplined team, not giving up those penalties. And Vegas did score 1 for 3 on the power play. But we get that win, and we're going off to the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's go ahead and sim another day. And we're facing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals in year number 1. Let's go ahead and look back at that. We know what happened. Toronto beats Florida 4-2. Winnipeg, there we go, in 5 games beats the Vegas Golden Knights. And it is your all-Canadian final between the Winnipeg Jets, who are seeded number 1, and the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 4th seed. So let's go ahead and jump to the Maple Leafs and see what kind of team they had this year. Goalie, Joseph Woll and Dennis Hildeby, but they still have Morgan Riley there, John Tavares, Bo Horvat, Kampf, Austin Matthews, Nylander, and injuries. Uro Vakanainen and Mitch Marner is hurt, and they still made it to the Stanley Cup Finals without Marner, although he might have just been injured. No, he's been injured all season. He got injured on January 18th, so they made it all the way to the finals through the second half of the season without Marner. Let's check what their lines are. Ross Johnston with Matthews, Nylander, Horvat, Domi, Palmieri, and John Tavares, the third-line center, with Riley and Dylan DeMello and Joseph Woll, who's a mildly hot goalie, so this should be good. Although we do have home ice advantage. So we will sim to game number 1 of your Stanley Cup Finals. So here we are again. We're just going to go ahead and sim game number 1 and see what happens. And we win game number 1, 4-1. Scored 3 in the first. Velarde, Ehlers, Scheifele, and Morrissey on the power play in the third. Toronto was 0 for 3 on the power play, and we were 2 for 3 on the power play. That's excellent. Let's go ahead and sim to game number 2. So here we are about to sim game number 2. Winnipeg is up 1-0. Ooh, 8-1 loss. That was a thumping. My gosh. Toronto, 2 goals in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third. We're just going to let that one go as I don't know, that was just horrible. But it's only game number 2. The series is tied 1-1. Let's sim to the game 3. So here we are for game number 3 at Toronto now in the Air Canada Center, maybe. I'm not sure what the Maple Leafs arena or stadium is named, but let's sim game number 3. And we bounce back after losing 8-1. We beat Toronto 7-3. This is a series for goal scoring up. We won in the third, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, and we beat Toronto 7-3. We did not have a power play chance, but we shut out Toronto. They were 0 for 3 on their power play, so that's good. And we're going to go ahead and sim up to the next game. And here we are for game number 4. Winnipeg Jets are up 2-1. We are still in Toronto. Let's sim game 4. And Toronto beats us, comes back and wins 3-1. Again, we did not have a power play chance. The Toronto Maple Leafs are very disciplined defensively, but we did shut out Toronto 0 for 3 on their power play, so that's good. And we do have a suspension here for Neil Pionk, so let's see. 1 game, not too bad. So Neil Pionk for Brandstrom, just for 1 game. Let's go ahead and sim. And we're back home. Let's go to the next game. I believe the series is tied 2-2 here. So we're just going to go ahead and sim game number 5. And the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Winnipeg Jets in game number 5. both 0 for 1 on the power plays. Suspension over for Neil Pionk, so we're going to go ahead and replace Brandstrom with Pionk again. And we're going to go ahead and sim to the next game. And we're back here in game number 6. Toronto is up 3 games to 2, so we're going to go ahead and watch this game just to see what happens, and I'll bring it back when something important shows up. So we're here at the end of the first period. The score is 0-0, but the shots on goal are 14-13 in favor of the Jets, so we're going to go ahead and start the second period. Here we are with 4:13 left in the second, and the first goal of the game is scored for Toronto by Steve Lorentz from Kyle Palmieri and Morgan Riley, and the Winnipeg Jets are losing 1-0 in this Stanley Cup clinching game. And here we are back at the end of the second period. Toronto leads 1-0. The shots on goal are 24 Winnipeg and 23 Toronto. Let's go to the third. And with 16:39 to go in the third, there is life for the Winnipeg Jets as Nikolai Ehlers evens the score up 1-1 from Kyle Connor and Jake McCabe. Shots 29 Jets, 26 Toronto. Austin Matthews answers right back with 12:29 left to go in the third from Max Domi and Nylander, and Toronto is back up 2-1. With 9:16 left to go in the third, Oliver Wahlstrom scores from Ross Johnston, and Austin Matthews in Toronto is back to a 2-goal lead, up 3-1. Shots 32 Toronto, 31 for the Winnipeg Jets. So here we are with 5 minutes left to go in this Stanley Cup clinching game for Toronto, who is leading 3-1. We need to put some shots on the net as Kyle Connor brings it up the left side of the ice. And there's a shot on goal, rebound. Connor, rebound. We are fighting for it as Ekman Larson gets the puck. Carlo's going to keep it, and he's going to send the shot on the net, and it's held by Hildeby. With 4 minutes left to go. Shots 39 for Winnipeg, and there's a face-off. And there's another shot on goal. Palmieri back to DeMello, up to Lorentz, who's going down the left side of the ice. Shot on goal, rebound. Sissons takes it up center ice, looking for his teammates. Passes back to Morrissey, up to Velarde, crosses the blue line. And Kyle Connor goes in, but he misses the point-blank shot. And it's sent back up the ice, and Lorentz is skating up left as both teams go for a line change. Lorentz and Horvat skating deep into the Jets zone as it's a new faceoff. Henrique Matthews wins it, and there's a shot on goal. Perfetti gets it, passes down to Henrique, who passes up to Jack Studnicka, who's skating down the right, and there's a shot on net. And there's another shot on net, and it's held by Hildeby with 2 minutes left to go. Matthews wins the faceoff to Domi, and it's passed up to William Nylander going down the right. And he loses the puck, and it looks like it's going to go for an icing as both teams give chase. And it's a face-off in the offensive zone. Won by Lowry to Morrissey, but that shot is blocked and it's picked up by Toronto, skating it up to Palmieri with 1:30 left to go. Back to Horvat to Lorentz, back to Horvat, and there's a shot on goal, and Hellebuck saves it. And the face-off is lost, but the puck is picked up by Lowry, skating across, passes to Zach Aston Reese, going up the left with 50 seconds left, looking for his teammates. Sissons passes, but it's blocked in front. Sissons shoots again, and the puck is deflected, and Lorentz has it going to cross the blue line, and he shoots it, and the goalie is pulled at 6-on-5 for the Winnipeg Jets. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and there's a shot. 2 shots on goal. Lorentz with 3 seconds left gets the empty net. Or it's not the empty net, it just went alongside. And your Toronto Maple Leafs have won the 24-25 Stanley Cup. Congratulations to them. So here we are, Game 6. The Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup, beating the Winnipeg Jets 3-1. We were both 0 for 2 on the power play. Delay treatment for Scheifele? Nope. Let's look at the playoff bracket. The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Winnipeg Jets 4-2. The Maple Leafs beat Carolina 4-2. They swept the New York Rangers. They beat Florida 4-2. And they beat Winnipeg 4-2. Congratulations to the Year 1 Stanley Cup champion Toronto Maple Leafs. First time in like 55 years they've won the Stanley Cup. And as a result, Scheifele out 2 to 3 weeks. And that's all for now. I will see you in the next one. I'm sorry, Winnipeg.